What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome on in, guys, to the American Express Tournament predictions, odds, best bets, whatever you want to call it. I'm Riggs Tamburo, Marshall Acosta. Hope you guys are all having a great day here. As you all know, Thursdays is when golf tournaments start. So we got these picks up for you guys tonight. Make sure you get these picks in by about 9, 10 a.m., if not sooner than that, or the tournament will have started. So with no further ado, we got a great tournament here. You guys can go ahead and check out sportsforummedia.com. Our man Bryson Owens dropping that golf article of the week for you, where we also will have picks from our entire team on that article as well. But you guys are going to check that one out a little bit later in the day for the actual picks there on that article. But with all that said, looking at this article here, let's break this one down, my man. Once again, the American Express starts on the 16th of January. This one going down in La Quinta, California, par 72, 7,060 to about 7,200 yards there, depending on which course they are playing on. There's multiple courses at this tournament, and a purse of 8.8 million on the line here. Obviously, looking at this tournament here, Marshall, we're coming off that Hawaii run, which was obviously great time in Hawaii. The guys always love opening the season like that. But now we're up here in California. Things are starting to get real now. All the little early season jitters are out. Unfortunately, no Scotty Scheffler going to be in this tournament. No Xander Schauffele going to be in this tournament. So the world number one and world number two will not be here, which actually is kind of fun because it opens the door a little bit for some of these other guys to get it done. 156 pros going to be paired with an amateur in this one for at least the first three rounds, top 65 in ties after 54 holes, and the list goes on. My first question for you, my man, looking at this course in general, what do you think the difficulties are going to be here that maybe we didn't see in Hawaii? Because I know we had some elevation changes in the first tournament in Hawaii, and then last week, no elevation changes. So what's the test here this week in California?
You know, one of the biggest tests I've seen from these guys when playing this tournament, it's that it's very unusual that they're playing three different courses within potentially a 72-hole span. Now, that's obviously depending on if they make the cut or not. But I've seen that the Nicklaus tournament course has been really, really low scores. In fact, since 2022, 8 out of the 14 lowest scores have come on the Nicklaus tournament course. And so it seems to be that's where guys are getting their low round in to really make the cut. And obviously last year, Nick Dunlap won the event at 29 under. And so, and that was with him shooting a 60 at La Quinta Country Club as well. And so really this golf tournament is based on really, if they go super low in one round, then they can build off of that. Then, like, obviously, it would be great to fire back-to-back 60s, but in all likeliness, that's probably not going to happen. So what we've seen from the recent champs that have won this tournament is that if there's one round that you can really separate yourself from everybody, that seems to be a big advantage just in terms of building a lead and building momentum for you to go into the weekend, because other guys are going to be rotating from different courses and are going to be looking to go low, potentially on the course that you went low on that the other guys haven't played yet. So this tournament always throws everybody for a loop because of just how much it's going on. And then obviously you have the Pro-Am going on the first couple of rounds as well. So the rounds are a little bit slower and the guys aren't able to be on their rhythm as much. And so those are all different factors to count into this tournament. But at the end of the day, this tournament has, as you can see, the past 5 winners. I mean, like, it's anybody's ball game at the end of the day. Nick Dunlap, who won as an amateur last year, the only player to win a U.S. Amateur and win a PGA Tour event since Tiger Woods. I mean, this guy is unbelievable. Stud, 21 years old now. He won as a 20-year-old last year on a sponsor's exemption out of Alabama. Obviously won.
That was crazy.
Which is just nuts, by the way. Like, and he not only won once, he won twice because he won the Barracuda at the very end of the year as well. 2 PGA Tour wins in a span of where he won as an amateur and he won as a PGA Tour professional in the same year, which you don't see at all. And so props to him. He will be back in this tournament, obviously. But yeah, one thing about this tournament that I would just like to put out there is that it is anybody's ball game, because look at these winners that have won the last 5 years. Andrew Landry, really don't hear much from him anymore. Siwoo Kim, solid player, always up there on the leaderboards, but hasn't done a lot of really winning within these last couple of years. Hudson Swafford, he's on Tour now. He's not even on the PGA Tour. Haven't heard a lick from him. Same with a lot of the LIV guys outside of Koepka and DeChambeau. Jon Rahm, once again, another LIV guy. Now, that's another guy that you can throw in with Koepka and DeChambeau that you do hear a decent amount from because he's still a great player. And then, obviously, Nick Dunlap, who was over, I believe he was 15,000 to win last year, which is unbelievable because he was an amateur coming into the event. So, as you can see, random winners. It's a
there was that one guy too. Remember that one guy bet like $25 on him or $50 on him or something like that. And he it was like his friend or his brother or something like that. Bet like $50 on him and cashed out, my man. So I want to ask you though, 26, 23, 23, 27, 29. There is some fires going on right now in California, which I know obviously isn't supposed to be affecting anything here for this tournament, or they wouldn't be playing it. However, still a little bit of an air change here. Do you think we see closer to those low 20s, the 23s, or do you think we're going to see more of this Jon Rahm, Nick Dunlap kind of upper 20s, maybe even a -30 to win this tournament?
Yeah, I definitely think that the air and just like obviously the index will play a role in this. Obviously, I mean, these guys have probably seen it firsthand, playing in the practice rounds and whatnot. There's probably a much different vibe out there considering all that is happening in that area and in California. And so, yeah, I'm sure that will play a factor. But at the end of the day, I think these guys are so good. Like these are the best players in the world that they are able to navigate through whatever situation that it is, whether it's weather, whether it's something going on in their personal life, whether it is kind of just different elements like injuries or whatnot. We've seen these guys battle tested, and I'm expecting these guys to go low yet again because some of the scores that have been shot in these tournaments have been unreal. Last year, Sam Burns shot a 61. Nick Dunlap shot a 60. Justin Thomas has shot a 61. It's these guys go low there.
I just want to feel that one time in my life, bro.
I would love to feel that, and you can add 10 more shots onto that for me. Like I would, a 71 would be great, man. But no,
great.
But it would that would feel terrific. But so these guys are fully capable of battling whatever is thrown at them. So I think at the end of the day that we are going to see that mid to high kind of in the 20 unders, I would say. So I would probably if it was set at about 24, I'd probably take the over in that. Just in terms of I do believe that these guys know this course. And one guy specifically, Sam Burns, who was the 36-hole leader last year before obviously kind of collapsing in that final round. And obviously Nick Dunlap went and earned it at the end of the day. I mean, the guy shot a 60 in round 3 to put himself in contention. And so I think that these guys are fully capable of going low, and I fully expect them to kind of go low and for us to really see a leaderboard that might even be pushing 30 under.
I'm right there with you. By the way, guys, right now from what we're seeing, 24.5 is the over-under on the tournament. We're going to take the over here and bank on a -25 or better getting this tournament done. Once again, no world number 1 or number 2, but I still think it's hard looking at these names to not think. I mean, just in the Big Ten on the board here, I mean, I could easily see multiple of these guys breaking 25, 27 roughly. So I think 30, that's a stretch. I don't know if we get there without, Scotty Scheffler in the mix, but with the rest of these guys, definitely. But let's go ahead and get on into those picks. So once again, guys, these are the picks for our team. As you see here, you will go ahead and see Bryson Owens' picks and a reason why. He is the writer of this article, followed by myself, Mr. Acosta, Jalen Jackson, Brandon Hooton, and Ian McClintock will have their picks on here for you as well. By the time you guys are seeing this clip, these picks will all be uploaded, so make sure that you go check these out. But Marshall, let's go ahead and scan through Bryson's picks really quick and see if we like what he's saying or we disagree with him. Sam Burns here, 16-1. He said, it may seem like a lifetime ago, and he did not finish in the way he wanted a year ago on this course. However, he did finish in the top 10 after being the leader through the first 36 holes. You already brought up Sam Burns. Do you like this pick at 16-1, or are the odds not quite good enough for you here for Mr. Burns?
I absolutely love this pick. This is actually, spoiler alert, sorry, but this is my pick to win it. Sam Burns is my guy to win it. Obviously.
Oh, okay. I doubled down already.
Yeah. It's It's been a while since we've seen Sam back in the winner's circle. I believe since it was either the Charles Schwab a couple years ago that he won, and then he had won the WGC match play a couple years ago as well. And so, this guy, when he's at his peak, he's one of the best putters in the game. His short game can be very, very good, but it can also be the demise of him as well. I think we saw that a little bit in the most recent Ryder Cup, to where, it almost looked like he had the chipping yips a little bit. But what we saw from Burns last year to end the year, he had 5 consecutive finishes within the top 15. And there was a couple T3s in there as well. And so what we saw at the end of last year has looked to carry over into this year. And granted, he's only played one tournament. He played the Century. He finished tied for 8th. I believe he finished the score at 23 under. So he was obviously right there in the mix until the very end, with obviously Kyle Morikawa and Hideki Matsuyama kind of battling it out towards the end. But I thought Sam Burns showed a lot of promise in that tournament. Obviously he finished tied 8th in a tournament where only previous PGA Tour winners from the year before and players that finished in the top 50 of the FedEx Cup are only eligible to play in that tournament. So you're not going up against, guys that are on like different exemptions, or guys that finished 120th in the FedEx last year that are just trying to kind of keep their status or whatnot. No, you're going up against the guys that performed unbelievably well last year, that either won on tour or finished in that top 50 of the FedEx Cup, that earned their right to be there. And so the fact that Sam was able to compete and really show out in that tournament, and we started to really see kind of what we saw towards the end of his year last year, I thought was very promising. And so I love the Sam Burns pick. I think that he's going to have a very, very good week there. And obviously Bryson had mentioned it. He's going to want some revenge after last year, because he did hold the lead for 36 holes and then obviously kind of collapsed in those last couple rounds. And then obviously to Dunlap's exception, with him shooting a 60 at La Quinta Golf Course in that 3rd round, which will really propel him into the mix, and obviously ended up getting the win. And so I love the Sam Burns pick by Bryson.
Sam Burns, folks, is the pick for Mr. Owens. Might be the pick for Mr. Acosta if you check out that article later. I don't know yet. We haven't officially locked it in, so you guys need to definitely check that out. But with all that said, moving on down here to Bryson's top 10, I'll go ahead and cover this one really quickly. Sungjae Im, this guy right here, man, an absolute monster of a player. He's one of those players where the second that you start to write him off and you stop talking about him, there he is. He comes right back. He's just one of those dudes. Bryson actually mentioned it right here. Might be the best player this weekend. I honestly agree with that. Now, I'm not saying he is the best player, but he is in the conversation. And to get him at plus money as a top 10 finish, like Bryson said, does feel like an absolute steal. Off to a flying start here. 3rd at the Century Tournament. You got to think this guy's coming in ready to go. And one other thing Bryson mentions here, in his 6 appearances, his worst finish was a top 25. He's also had 5 straight top 20 finishes. He is ready to win this tournament here. Sungjae Im, top 10, might even be worth a sprinkle there for a winner. We'll see if one of the guys decides to take Sungjae to get it done. But Marshall, going on through, my man, to pick number top 20. Wyndham Clark. I got such a love-hate relationship with this guy, my man, because one minute I watch him and I'm like, man, I love what he's about. And he's this mega competitor and he's super hard on himself, but it also scares me as a sports bettor, because sometimes he's so hard on himself that I think he actually hurts himself in competition. Because, I mean, you'll see this dude have 2 bad shots, bro, by the 3rd hole. And he's out there, motherfucker, slamming clubs. And you're just like, bro, chill, bro, chill. So question for you. I think top 20 is a relatively safe spot to put Wyndham Clark. The big question for me on this one, honestly, is do you think Wyndham makes the cut? Because if he makes the cut, I like this pick.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a fair question. And obviously we saw Wyndham kind of try to make a push at the Century as well. Obviously wasn't able to kind of make a run at the very end there, but we did see some good things. And the potential, the sky's truly the limit for this guy. In my opinion, he has a beautiful golf swing, strikes it beautifully, and he hits the ball for forever. Like, this guy, when he gets an absolute rip, he plays a very good fade. And then obviously at times, it can be overcorrected to where he it's too much of a fade. And so then that's where I think you see some of, just how hard he is. And, he's spoken about that too. It's like he's gotten a little bit better at it, seeing a sports psychologist and whatnot. And so obviously he had mentioned that after he won the US Open in 2023. And so, yeah, it's the sky's the limit for this guy. I do believe that he makes the cut because if you look at his performances from the last couple seasons at this tournament, he has made the cut and he has finished rather in the top 40 or so in his last couple appearances. So obviously 40,
Yep.
there's 65 guys that are making the cut. If he's finishing top 40, I know it's not great, but for what you asked, if he'll make the cut, I do believe he'll make the cut. Will he truly contend? That's a question that I think we all would love to know the answer to, but really we're not going to know until halfway through the second round because if he is battling on the cut line. And we've seen the cut line be pretty low here, anywhere from 12 under.
It's not going to be easy.
13 under. No. It's like these guys, like, that's one thing about this tournament is like these guys know that if they shoot 1 under or God forbid,
you're cooked.
Or just
you're cooked,
over
bro.
one of the first 2 rounds, then yeah, you can.
I mean, honestly, the cut line might be around what at bare minimum -8.
Yeah, no, yeah, I would honestly even like I
was going to say 11. That's where my mind first went.
Yeah.
I was like, well, that might be a little high, but
I was
still,
thinking like
8
10.
is like
yeah,
fair.
Yeah,
like you got to shoot 4 or 5 under both days, or you will not see day 3.
I would be surprised if it was like 8 or 7, just because, okay, that tells me that for one, something like with obviously the fires out there and whatnot, like maybe the ball isn't traveling as much. They're not able to compact the ball as much and it's not traveling as much through the air. Maybe that's a factor, or, it's windy or something like that. Those would be some things that would come to mind, but I fully expect for this cut to be in the double digits, whether it's 10, 11, 12, 13. We have seen it be 13 before. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to these guys battle out there amongst the conditions, having to play 3 different courses with 2 to 3 of the rounds being with the Pro-Am. It can be tough at times because you're out there playing with amateurs and it slows your process down. You have to wait a lot. And so, but by the end of the week, whichever guy has gone really low and at least 1 round has put themselves in a good position. And we've seen it come in the 3rd round. Obviously last year with Dunlap shooting a 60 in that 3rd round. We've seen guys propel and come out of nowhere. And I think that we very well could be in for one just like that. And it wouldn't surprise me if it was Mr. Wyndham Clark that put himself in that position.
We're going to see, guys, Wyndham Clark plus 140, top 20 for Mr. Bryson Owens. And then he's tapping it out with one of my favorite golfers on tour. This guy right here is a guy who, if you paid attention for the last 2 years here at the Sports Forum, I've made a shitload of money on Mr. Will Zalatoris. I call him MGK. He's my little MGK. That's what I call him whenever I see him out there. I love this dude. Great guy, great golfer. Had a lot of back issues last year. I'm expecting him to kind of come in recovered this year, play a lot better. 50-1. What I'm going to agree with Bryson on is what he said here. One of the more consistent threats every single weekend prior to his injuries. Exactly. And that's the thing is he's 50-1 today. I'm telling you guys right now, a month from now, 3-4 tournaments from now, if you find Will Zalatoris at 50-1, unless it's a major, and even then I'd be a little surprised. I just don't see it happening. He's a 17 to 25-1 every tournament kind of guy. So for him to come in at 50-1 is crazy good value. Long shot. I don't have to say anything else here, guys. Will Zalatoris not only is a good top 20, top 40 piece to make the cut piece, but to win it might be worth a sprinkle here. 50-1. Good luck to you guys if you choose to ride with Bryson Owens on that one. And then one more time, guys, on sportsforummedia.com, where you're going to find that article. All of our cruise picks are going to be up there by about 6 o'clock tonight. Honestly, by the time you guys are watching this video, we'll probably be all uploaded up there. So make sure to check back, get those picks there. Good luck to you. The American Express this weekend should be fun. Marshall Acosta, Riggs Tamburo, and Bryson Owens with the article there for you guys. Good luck this weekend. Do not bet anything that you can't afford to lose. And hey, let's go pick some winners.